Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Marketing of the Mind. So great to be back with you once again. My name is Terry Hansen, as you know, with my good friend and award-winning marketing expert, Nathan Hawks. It's good to be back with you on this episode number 20 of Marketing of the Minds.
Already? 20?
Yeah. We have, once we relaunched this podcast, we've kind of relaunched it with a new flavor, a new focus, a new dimension. And so some of the older episodes of the podcast are still on YouTube and you can still get access to those. But yeah, about 7 episodes ago or so, 4, maybe not that much. Somewhere around there, we relaunched and we've kind of got this new focus, really focusing on professional service businesses, whether they're urgent care clinics, accounting firms, real estate agencies, dental practices, engineering, architectural firms. The list kind of goes on and on. But those kinds of businesses, they're typically localized businesses. They are in some of the most competitive markets and industries around. And so our purpose here on Marketing of the Minds is to really help each and every single one of our own clients, but also you be able to have possession of some of the key marketing tactics and strategies and business development concepts and principles that'll help you not only beat your competitors, but grow and thrive and scale your company. So I'm particularly excited for today's episode because you and I just got back from Funnel Hacking Live in Orlando. What did you think of that?
It was hot in lots of ways, right?
Yes.
Nobody complains that much, I don't think, when you live in Idaho about the weather in Orlando. But no, the information was hot, and it was good review for us and some of the concepts that we've been doing and hearing it from other people and proof of concept. And it's just an overall good experience. And I would say that anybody who's never been to Funnel Hacking Live or been a part of it should be. And the beauty of it is it's not geared towards agencies like us. It's geared towards entrepreneurs, the general audience, people who don't know that much. And they really take it from the basics through some of the more advanced information. So there was something there for everybody.
I couldn't agree more. So if you're unfamiliar with the annual conference of Clickfunnels is a very popular marketing software that a lot of businesses use to help market and promote themselves. And so the owners of this software company, Clickfunnels, every year they have an annual conference and they call it Funnel Hacking Live. And every year it
gets bigger every year.
Yeah, true. And so this year it was in Orlando, Florida. And I think we arrived on a Tuesday and the conference went all day Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And we ended up flying home on Sunday. But pretty unlike, that was my third year going, but I know your first year, but again, high level, just impressions from the whole event. I mean, kind of.
Look, here's the thing about funnel hacking that was exciting to me is that you get to hear from people that are experienced, that have already created success, and then they kind of go backwards and they tell you all of the steps that they went through to help them get to their what they call the 2 comma club, where they are making $1 million or more out of certain funnels that they have set up for their sales, right? And some of them are in e-commerce and some of them are in services and expertise. And it blows my mind how much money some people have made doing it. But as far as the type of conference goes, there were a couple pieces that made it my favorite. Okay. Number one is that there was some strategy and really good information type pieces. And then the second thing is that they invited some amazing motivational speakers so that you got the feel goods from the conference that you're always kind of looking for, that kind of give you that amped up feeling so you come home ready to conquer the world again. And I think that's what we left with.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. A couple of the big headline speakers that were really, really fun were, of course, Tony Robbins. Last day on Saturday, brought the house down.
It's fantastic.
Tony Robbins does an incredible job. Another one of my personal favorites was, and I'll slaughter his last name, but Nick Santonastaso. Santonastaso. Anyway, a really inspiring young man who was born without any legs and without an arm. And he shared his story, and we've had some really powerful things. And then, of course, one of my favorites, Dan Kennedy, who's been around since really the early 60s and 70s as a direct response marketer. Many look to Dan Kennedy as kind of the grandfather of direct response marketing. He made a surprise visit. Nobody was expecting him, and he showed up, and that was pretty Olympic. So, but yeah, world-class speakers and amazing. So we thought what we would do is over the next couple episodes of Marketing of the Minds, we might share, as you can see, Nate and I we've got our notes and our notes from the conference. Thought we might share a couple of the key principles and concepts that were shared and how they might apply to our local businesses here. Whether, again, you run a chiropractic firm, a dental office, an accounting firm, or you're an attorney, how you might incorporate some of these pretty state-of-the-art, pretty fantastic marketing principles to help scale and grow your business and acquire more clients and, again, beat your competitors. So, Nate, what was one of your key takeaways? I know you've written some things down. What top of mind?
I wrote down lots of pages of notes. So many things stuck out to me that I wanted to bring back, not only to our team, but to the podcast.
Yeah. And
I think number one is that don't get yourself discouraged because anybody can do this. So that's a big deal. But to be honest, we're not gonna be able to cover all of these things in today's episode. So we're going to cover them over a couple of episodes.
Break them up a bit.
Some takeaways, but some really powerful ones I want to talk about. I think maybe 3 today more than anything. But before we jump into some of those, I do want to reiterate, and I know we've hit it hard in the past. I can't overstate how important it is to make sure that you have tracking set up. You cannot improve what you don't track and measure. So to be clear, we're talking about things like Google Analytics. We're talking about call tracking. You could use call tracking metrics, call rail. There's a bunch of those out there.
Now, by call tracking, it's how many phone calls are coming in to your business and how long they are, which numbers
usually connect those to analytics so you can find the source of what generated the phone call.
Yep, where the calls are coming from. So that's call tracking.
Correct. Yep. And then maybe tracking pixels like Facebook. Tracking pixels are super, super important, and we'll talk more about that.
That's awesome. Good reminders.
So I think one of the first principles that I want to talk about is, and we may have to visit this one again because it was a big one,
big
right?
Topic.
But finding the control. So the idea behind finding the control is that there are pieces of your marketing that are making people drop off. And if you don't know what that is, you may think it's other things. You might make a whole bunch of adjustments, and you may be making adjustments on things that are not helping. So there is somewhere in the line, whether it's from an ad that you create to a landing page, to your contact page, to some information page.
To what you're offering.
Correct. To the offer, where it's turning people off. And it may not be what you think. And there are various ways to figure out what that looks like. And the idea behind funnel hacking is, look, you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Bingo.
You don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are people in your industry already successful that are doing it. And all you have to do is just see what they're doing and by and large kind of do the same thing. Now, I'm not saying copy specifically, but doing something. And I would even argue, because this is how I always feel, I have a hard time creating, but I can always take something that somebody else has written or done and I can do a little bit better. So I can edit things better than I can create. And
by modeling, what they're referring to is if their Facebook ad, for example, has a video of somebody actually using the product, demoing the product and kind of doing something, well, then you need a video of somebody using your service or your product.
Right.
Or if a competitor or somebody has a certain page on their website that has maybe an image on the left-hand side with words and copy on the right-hand side, and then they've got bullet points here with a big button, then you need a page on your website that's got a picture on the left-hand side with copy on the right with bullet points and then a button. So you kind of model the layout, maybe the color themes. You make it all your own. It's all original. You're not copycatting, but you're just modeling what's already working.
Right. And look, the other thing that I wanted to bring to light is that funnels are a fantastic thing. They can be used in so many different ways, but a funnel is not for everybody. A funnel, there are situations where funnels will help, but there are principles that we learned about or reviewed in funnel hacking that can be used in so many different areas. And so I'm going to give an example of one.
Yeah.
So there was a guy that called me and he said, "Hey, look, I've got access to several thousand products in a sporting goods category, and I would really like to develop this huge website. And I'm thinking huge, I'm thinking big, and we're going to make it so that we can beat the pants off of companies like Cabela's and Bass Pro Shops and Sportsman's Warehouse, which ironically are all the same company now. But this was a couple of years ago when they weren't. And he said, I'm going to do it better than they are. So we're gonna really attack this thing, and it's not gonna be anything like anything anybody has ever seen." And we got off that call, and I was kind of thinking on it a little bit, and something hit me. Those are big companies, Cabela's and Sportsman's and Bass Pro Shops. They probably do millions of dollars in revenue
you bet.
every day from their websites. Maybe not, but maybe they do, right? And it's interesting to see that there is an evolution of their websites and their navigation, and maybe some of the way that they present products or how their website looks. And this guy was offering or suggesting that we don't do any of that, that we make it our own, which to a degree,
ignore what they're doing
Correct.
that's clearly working.
Correct.
And try and
just do it better, right? Reinvent the wheel. And I told him, we had another phone call maybe a day or two later, and I said, "Hey, I had a thought. I just want to run it by you." The thought is, look, these guys who probably have their own staff of several different types of digital marketers.
Oh yeah.
It's funny, if you look at all three of the websites, they're all really similar. Again, this is before any of them were the same company, right? They were all different companies in competition, and all of the websites looked and felt the same. And I was thinking, what is it that why are they looking that way?
It's probably not accidental.
So when I got on the phone with this guy, I said, "Look, these guys have probably spent hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, tweaking and modifying their website for better conversions, for better experience, for better SEO, for better traffic, et cetera, et cetera. Why would we try to think that we could learn a lesson or do something better when this is where they all are now? We could even just take, let's call it a shortcut,
Yep.
and copy the website almost exactly, at least format, looks wise,
Right,
etc.
exactly.
And we know that it already works. We already know it works. We don't have to learn those hard lessons that they spent millions of dollars learning.
And years in the process.
And years of
Oh,
time.
yeah.
So the concept is you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Find somebody who's already doing it successfully, and then model yourself in a similar way. That doesn't mean from there that you can't improve.
Sure.
It just means that's a good place to start. That's going to minimize the chance you have of failure.
And I love the idea of a professional service firm, here locally in our market or any market. I think of like a financial advisor, for example. It doesn't necessarily mean that if I'm a financial advisor that I have to go look at another financial advisor's website and their social media channels and that sort of thing. I can go to a real estate agent or a CPA or an attorney or a plumber, a chiropractor, anybody that offers a professional service and charges a fee for it. If you see something on their websites or on their social media channels that's clearly working, then pay attention to what's working there. So again, I think a financial advisor can learn a lot from a chiropractor that's just killing it. And say, okay, what can I copy? What can I model? What can I incorporate that's working well there? So, but use that as the control, as the basis,
Correct.
And then innovate on top of that.
Correct.
And then once you beat the control, you're getting more traffic, more clicks, more leads, more calls, more fill in the blank. Then your new result becomes your new control. That becomes the new benchmark, the new standard to try to beat. And so now you change your ads, or you change this, or you tweak that or modify that to try to beat even that number.
Correct.
And so it's one process of beating the control, beating the control, beating the control, beating the control. Anyway.
That's right. And in the digital marketing industry, we call that benchmarking. So benchmark, make a tweak, new benchmark, make a tweak, new benchmark, and hopefully it's all in the right direction.
Yeah.
But I think
great principle.
What's a value is, well, how can you find that information? So let me give you a couple of really fast tips on things that you can do if you don't know, or we can help you with. If you want to look at social media ads, what a fantastic way to get attention. That's where everybody's attention already is. You could be grab a hook, be disruptive in some way. And anyways, in social media ads, let's say you won't find somebody who's running a really great ad and you want to know more about it. You can go look at their Facebook page, and on their Facebook page, I'm saying this as if I were in a desktop or laptop computer. I guess that's the way I think about it.
If you're on your phone, it's probably going to look different.
But anyways, on their Facebook page, you can scroll down. It's on the left-hand side, and I guess from the camera, it's opposite, right? The left-hand side and down, and there's a section called Page Transparency. And if you click on that, then there's a section that'll let you see what are current ads they're running now. And it will actually show you the ads. It's public information. So go spy on it, go see what it is. Then there's another place on Facebook that is the ads library. And you can access the ads library by just going to facebook.com/ads/library, and then search a company, and it'll bring up all of the ads that they run or are running currently.
If they're running an active ad,
yep,
that'll be there. If they're not running an active ad, then nothing else.
That's right. So it'll only show if the ads are active.
Yep.
That's a good point. Then the other piece is on paid search. So pay-per-click in Google. How do you see what that might look like? Well, there's several tools, and we've talked about some tools in the past, but I will name a couple that you can use to go see what your competitors' ads or just anybody's ads might be at the time. And even some of them give you an indication on how much they're spending on those ads. So that would be SEMrush is one of those. You can type in the URL. Ubersuggest gives you some. There's another company called Espionage that we've used in the past that tells you a little about pay-per-click. And another one that I would say that's really popular, and I apologize if there's other tools that I haven't mentioned, but SpyFu is another great company that you can look at some of your competitors' ads. So finding the control, don't reinvent the wheel. Model yourself after something that's already working, then you already know that you've got a place to start from that's not from scratch.
No,
so that's principle number one. Okay.
Lots of good stuff there. Well, there's already a lot of takeaways in there.
Oh my gosh.
I think per day, like day one, they spent a lot of time talking about just the fundamentals and foundation. And I think they probably had at the conference maybe like 6 different speakers. Day 2 talked about the different kinds of sales funnels that you might use for different purposes and different contexts. And I think they, again, had 6 or 7 or 8 different speakers. Day 3 talked all about how to bring more people to your sales funnels, your websites, your pages. And then day 4 had a lot to do with personal development and leadership and goal setting and things like that. But day 2, what was kind of another big takeaway or a big principle that you walked away with?
There was a point where they talked about 5 questions that every company, whether you're a professional service provider or an e-commerce site, should ask to determine, are you doing the right things? Is it reaching the right people, et cetera? So I want to tell you what those 5 things are that you should be able to answer or do. Number 1 is if you can clearly identify who do you serve? Who is your audience? And the answer is not everybody. There is a very specific answer.
Yes.
They talk about creating personas, et cetera. So I would tell you to think on that one a little harder than you think you might, but it's who do you serve? Okay. Second point is what do they want? What this specific group of individuals that might be a client or a customer of yours or a patient, what do they want? And then think about how you can help solve what it is that they want. Number 3 is how do you help them reach their goal? So maybe you're an accounting firm and somebody is asking, hey, how do I get my business to have $1 million in savings? Now, I don't know if that's a question a lot of people ask or not, but then the accounting firm should be able to say, well, we have people that are asking this question, and here is a legitimate pathway or a step guide that we can give that would help your business to have $1 million in savings, whatever that might look like. Number 4 is simply you can ask your audience. There's lots of ways to do it, but survey them, but ask them, what is it you want? And they will tell you what their pain or their dream is. So they'll tell you, these are the issues that we're facing. How do you help us with this? Or this is what we desire to have. How can you help us with that? Nobody says out loud or specifically that this is what they want. unless you ask. So asking is that probing piece, that action. And then I would say the fifth step in this is adjust your message or your content to meet those things that you've just learned. And so let me just go back over those. Who do you serve is number one. Number two is what do they want? Number three, how do you help them? Number four, ask them what their pain or their dream is. And number five is then adjust your message or your content appropriately.
I think one of the traps that professional services gets into, again, real estate agents, dentists, chiropractors, urgent care clinics, attorneys, engineers, they're experts in their field, no question.
Yes.
They've gone to school for years. They've got years and years of experience. And I think to some degree, I think many kind of get stuck a little bit, but in terms of what they offer. And I remember one of the messages that Kaylin Poland, one of the speakers that she emphasized, was how important it is to obviously survey and ask your customers not only what goals, dreams, and aspirations they're trying to achieve, what are they trying to accomplish, and what they need to get there, but then being willing to adjust, like you were saying. And she shared a story that she in her business, she was primarily an informational product. She offered a lot of training. And when she asked her customers what they wanted, they said, well, we would like some apparel. We would like something to kind of show off the nature of our community and what we've joined here. So she started offering clothing, right? And then she surveyed her customers again. What else do you want to help you become all that you want to become? And they said, well, we want coaching, one-on-one coaching. So she started offering coaching. And then she surveyed them again. Now what do you want? And then, months and months later, they said, well, it'd be good to get together for annual conferences and live events. So she started offering live events. And then again, as she continued to survey, she discovered that supplements, health supplements, ended up becoming a really important element to her customers. And then finally, like nutritional protein bars and meal replacement bars. And what she shared was is right now her business, probably something like 60-70% of her overall revenue comes from these supplements and meal replacement bars. And so her business has evolved. And I think one of the hangups that sometimes professional service businesses run into is they get so beholden to what they have always done that they are maybe nervous or unwilling to evolve and adapt and adjust with their customers. And so I think that was kind of a key point that was driven too, is we always have to be asking and surveying our customers so that we can continue to evolve and adapt to them and their changing needs. That they're not static.
Yep. Not everybody has the same needs all the time.
Neither should we be static. So anyway.
Correct. Then I think the third principle, the third thing that really stood out to me was, there was a tidbit of information that kind of struck me as interesting, as bigger than I thought. But they talked about what are different ways that you can improve the way that you communicate to your audience through ads. And so Russell Brunson, I believe, talked about 7 different types of ads. And so I'd love to go over those. But the tidbit of information that caught my attention was 93% of brands are discovered on social media via video. So there's another plug for video. If you guys aren't doing video, you should. Maybe that's the hack of the day, right?
The hack of the day.
But what's the value around the info that you're offering? And so here are 7 types of ads that could work for just about any type of e-commerce or expertise or professional service. So number 1 on the 7 types of ads is have a spokesperson or an anchor, someone to be the brand face, and it could be an influencer, or it could just be someone pretty. It could be someone not pretty.
Not so pretty.
Yep. And
we've seen those kind of videos all the time. It's just a single person standing in front of the camera talking about whatever product or service is being offered.
Correct.
And that's pretty much the video. It's just kind of a talking head. That's the spokesperson.
But that speaks to some people.
Yeah.
And it works really well. The second one is a product or a service demo. So a way that you can show what your product does, or maybe explain on a video how you're enhancing people's lives or helping them reach their goals or solving a problem or an issue that they may have with the product or the service that you're offering.
It's product demos are easy if you're selling a product like a plunger or something.
Metal
you can,
polish.
Yeah, you can show it in action. But as an attorney or as a real estate agent, your ad video, your product demo would be, as a real estate attorney or a real estate agent, showing people like walking through a house or sitting down at the closing table, signing at the title company, or people actively consuming your service. That's what that ad might look like.
Yep. Another one is social proof. And at first, I understand the concept of social proof, but to get a little more clarification for those who don't know, that means getting other people's opinions, reviews. Maybe you get other people to contribute, talk about how great the product is, or to talk about your service and what it could do for them.
That's maybe even just a video of a customer just telling their testimonial. I loved using this Dr. So-and-so chiropractor. He's so kind, so gentle, so wonderful. It's just a customer testimonial. Would be a great example of just a social proof video ad.
Exactly. Another one is closer ads. So it's very specific in maybe being more aggressive in the message you have, saying, hey, we've got this special or this value, buy it right now, or sign up right now, or come be a part, set an appointment, come be with us. But one thing that they talked about as an example of closer ads, if you're a real estate agent, might be an invitation to an open house. Something that gets them to take some engagement action, very specifically towards the purchase or revenue driving piece of your ads.
On social media ads, there's kind of this 1-2 punch tactic that we use. Video or like an ad number one might be something that just gets their attention. But then people who would like it or share it or comment on it or watch the video or something, with a pixel, you can kind of tag them. And then you can show them a second, what they call retargeting ad. And this closer ad is a great example of a retargeting ad. Once they've already seen maybe your spokesperson ad, your product demo ad, your social proof ad, and they haven't yet bought or clicked on anything, this closer ad is a good one to show them, just to show to those people who've already been exposed to your product or your service. And really just designed to maybe identify what the top 1 or 2 or 3 core objections are. Like, what are some of the reasons why people would not want to use your accounting firm? Or what are some of the reasons why people don't want to use an engineer? You address those reasons in your ad and then invite them to come use you.
Right, exactly. Good points. The next one, number 5, is case studies. Use case studies. So how has your product or your service affected people positively in the past, and what metrics from tracking that you could use? So, for us, for example, we have a fair amount of dental clients. And so I actually have doctors that ask, well, what have you done for other dentists? But
Bingo.
I can preempt that question by just saying, here's an ad. Check out the results that we got for this doctor. That might excite some people.
Absolutely.
So that could be for an accounting firm in how we were able to save costs, for example, or it could be in for a law firm that says, here's a way that we were able to help these companies save money by putting us on retainer, as an example. Okay, and the number 6 was a lifestyle ad. Honestly, I think that's one of my favorites. Lifestyle ads tend to work really well. We've tried it and used it ourselves. We've tried it and used it for our clients. The lifestyle ad is where you show it in action, not as a demo, but somebody who's used it, and what does the end result look like of somebody who's right. The benefit. That's exactly right. It's a showcase of it being used and having people post problem solving because of it.
I kind of like the before and after picture. You've got this 400-pound obese person, and then the after picture, which is now they're the 150-pound really trim person. It's the lifestyle ad would be this 150-pound person running with their kids and throwing the football and at the beach, and they're enjoying this healthier, happier lifestyle because of this service that they took advantage of.
Correct.
So it's kind of like the after picture.
That's right. And then Style number 7 is an unboxing video. So just as a side, my kids have looked at YouTube and they watch these other kids that want to unbox toys or Barbie dolls or cars or whatever, and then they play with it for a second. I don't know why my kids like to watch other kids play with toys. I don't get it. But I will say that an unboxing video of here's what it looks like, here's what you can expect from us. And an unboxing doesn't always have to be just e-commerce. Unboxing can be things like here's what happened when I engaged in a service with this law firm, or here's how I was treated when I went into this dental office, or something like that. So you can adapt it a little bit, but unboxing.
I love the idea of having these 7 different ad styles, because sometimes when you're doing an advertising campaign, you're like, well, we just need an ad that, talks about how great and wonderful we are. And then after that ad is created and after it's run, it's like, well, what else do we do? What else do we talk about? How else can we approach this? And sometimes you scratch your head and you're like, I'm not sure. Let's hire an agency to figure that out for us. But that really is the secret sauce. There's 7 different ways to kind of approach the same thing, but just from different angles. And what's interesting is that some people will respond to the emotion. Some will respond to the price. Some will respond to the urgency. Some will respond to kind of the rational, logical side of it. Your customers are just built differently. And so your 7 different ads are designed to appeal to some different people different ways. So it's smart to have a little bit of a strategy there.
Yeah. And just real quick, run through those 7 again. So we've got spokesperson or anchor ads, product demos, social proof, closer ads, case studies, lifestyle, and unboxing. And to be honest, we've already made this episode pretty lengthy. That's like 1/15 of the information we have. And so we'd love to share more. But I think that's about all the time we've got today.
Yeah, awesome. Well, a wealth of information came out of the Funnel Hacking Live annual conference of Clickfunnels 2021. They'll be back again next year in Orlando. And so we've already got our tickets. And
we do.
We're super pumped to go back there and spend, after it's over, before, even spend some more time at Disney. That's always a good time. So anyway, we will be back once again in the next episode to share some additional strategies and some different tactics that we learned at Funnel Hacking Live 2021 in Orlando, Florida. So Nate, any final words to wrap us up today?
I don't think I have anything else. Those are all the things that I know.
That's it. Well, great to be with you guys. Keep up the good work. Can't wait to be back with you once again. And as always, the core of this show is answering your questions. So as you're watching, and if other questions pop up into your mind, please write those in the comments. We use those as kind of the core subject matter for each episode that we do. And as you know, we like to surprise our listeners and our audience by giving them free swag and free gifts and ebooks and other great things to help them fuel their business and keep thriving. So great to be with you. Keep up the good work, and we'll see you next time. Take good care, guys.